What is poppin', y'all? Caramel Roses in the building, and we are back for story time. Alright, so I'm gonna tell you guys about the first time that I experienced racism in Canada. Alright, so first things first, welcome if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And secondly, I'm going to leave a link in my description box. It's a link that's going to lead you to a bunch of resources on ways that you can contribute to the Black Lives Matter movement right now, whether it be through signing petitions, donating, or even just educating yourself on something new. Click that link for me real quick and contribute in any way that you can, okay? So I decided that I'm going to share a story about a time that I've experienced racism in Canada. So I'd like to clear up that this is not the first instance, but this is probably the most notable and probably the most obvious. So a lot of times in Canada, the biggest form of racism that happens is through microaggressions. Very hidden racism, not so blunt. But I will share a story right now that it was pretty blunt. It wasn't hidden at all. So as per usual, let's set the tone real quick. This is when I just graduated from high school, and it was the summer before starting university. So I decided that I was going to university around an hour and a half away from Toronto. Okay, Toronto, yes, one of the most diverse cities in the world. Okay, whatever. So I'm going to a school that's an hour and a half away from Toronto, and literally the minute you leave Toronto, it is predominantly white most of the time. Like, Toronto is a very big exception when it comes to Canada. Anyways, like I said, I was going to school an hour and a half away with a guy from my high school. He's brown, Indian, JF, okay? So JF and I were like, okay, we're going here in September. We need to go throughout the summer to try and find somewhere to live and figure things out and kind of get used to this new environment. During the summer, near the beginning, we decided that we were gonna head down to St. Catharines and do some apartment shopping. So JF did his research already and he found a few places, he contacted a few people. So we had a few places that we were gonna check out. That's exactly what we did. We checked out those places and they were all student homes. And of course, like, we're just starting out, we didn't really know how things work. So we weren't really feeling the student home vibe. Like, we didn't feel really comfortable, especially me. I didn't feel comfortable just joining a house with, like, say for example, a house of guys that I don't know. Like, I'm good. Like, I'd rather be just with JF and the other person we were going to school with. Like, I'd prefer us have our own space. So it was kind of like discouraging in a sense. We're like, yo, all these places kind of suck. Like, what are we gonna do? We keep driving around and we see an apartment building and it said rooms available, like come inside or call. So we're like, you know what, we're already here, let's go. Because I think even though an apartment would be a little bit more than a student home price, at least we'd feel a lot more comfortable, or at least I would feel a lot more comfortable. Like, I guess it's different for him because he's a guy, but for me, I would feel a lot more comfortable. So that's exactly what we did. We went in and we asked about apartments and like how it works, how the rent is, how the bedrooms are, whatever. And this landlord was amazing. Like, I absolutely loved her. I think she was Latina. I don't know what country she's from. And she was amazing. Like, she was so sweet, bro. So she showed us a few different units, like a 1-bedroom unit versus a 2-bedroom unit, and like literally these units were perfect. Like, they were big, the rooms were big, the bathroom was like good, like the kitchen was good, like everything was men's. It was close to school, like everything. Like, when I say it was perfect, it was perfect. We couldn't have asked for a better spot, basically. So we told her, we're like, yo, we absolutely love this place. And again, since we hated all the other places, this place looked like heaven. So we told her, we're like, okay, like, we're going to start school in September, but we're both from Toronto. So like, what do you suggest? Like, do you suggest that we sign a lease? At what time? When should we come back? Like, those kind of things. And she's like, honestly, there's not like a heavy demand, like, so you can come back maybe at the beginning of August or even the end of July, and like we can sort out signing a lease. for September, and like you should be good. Like you shouldn't have to worry about not having a unit available. Like there's normally a lot. So for some reason this part got cut out, but basically what happened is me and JF left that day, and in around a month I went back with my cousin and my mom just so I can get their opinion before we made a decision. All of us drove up, and I actually called during the week before we decided, and I called and I asked, hey, like, is it cool if I come by on this day to check out a unit again? Like, I came again, it was the same landlord that I spoke to, so she remembered me, and she's like, yeah, that's fine, like you can come, that day is good, like whatever, you can pull up. That's basically what she said, you can pull up. So that's what happens. I go that day, I pull up, and there's a different lady, a white lady. So I go there and I was like, hey, I spoke to insert name here, and you know, she said that I can come today to check out a unit. I've already checked one out before, but I wanted to take a look again before making my decision, whatever. And the lady's like, no. And I'm like, sorry? She's like, no, we don't have any units to show you. And I'm like, that doesn't really make sense, because like, you know, she told me that there was and that I should come. Like she knew I was coming from Toronto. Like I don't live 10 minutes away. Like she knew that I was coming from a further area. Like I'm pretty sure if there was nothing available, she would have told me that before I made the plan to come up here. And she's like, nope, sorry, there's nothing to show you. There's no units available. You need to book an appointment in advance. You just can't show up, whatever. And I said, well, that's just funny, because I feel like if that was protocol, she would have told me to book an appointment, because I told her I was coming this day. So I figured if I needed to book that was the whole reason I called. If I needed to reserve it beforehand, I would have done that. But she said, nah, you're good, you can just come. So she wasn't having it. She's like, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to leave because there's nothing I can do for you. I can't show you anything. I don't have keys. Like she just was saying different excuses like every 2 seconds. I don't have the keys. I can't show you. There's nothing available. It doesn't work like that. Like it was just a bunch of nonsense. I wasn't here to cause no problems or whatever. I'm like, if you don't want to show me, I'm not gonna stand here and fight you all day. We ended up leaving. We got something to eat. And my cousin, I won't lie, my cousin's a little bit of a hothead. My mom, like, she would have just let it go and said, all right, let's just go home. My cousin was like, nah, like, you fully talked to someone. Clearly, it's a possibility. So we're gonna see a unit whether she likes it or not, okay? We were literally across the street eating food. Like, we weren't far, like, at all. So my cousin's like, get the number from on that board, because that board is still up saying the phone number, call, because there's rooms available. So my cousin calls, and my cousin has a real good customer service voice. I don't really got a good one, but she has a really good customer service voice. Plus her name's Amanda, so like you can't really tell where she's from. I mean, even if she had a different name, she probably would have made one up. But so she calls, and of course this lady answers, and she's like, hey, I was just wondering if there's any units available, because I'd really love to come by and look at one. Is there anything available? This woman, the landlord, was like, absolutely, we have like 4 different units that we can show you. You can come by, we're free all evening, there's nobody booked. Like, you wouldn't even believe the amount of information this girl even said on the phone. Like, you wouldn't even believe, like, you would think I'm lying. This girl said, yeah, basically there's bear, pull up. Like, she's like, there's bear, absolutely come. Like, I was so shook that she even said all that. So my cousin's like, okay, that's perfect, I'm actually like 15 minutes away. Again, we were across the street, but just to be a little extra, she's like, okay, well, I'm like around 15 minutes away, is that okay? She's like, yeah, we have so much time, you can come, I'll be here, my name is blank, what's your name so I know who I'm looking for? And she's like, my name's Amanda, can't wait to see you. Y'all, so I'm there laughing now, because I'm like, yo, this girl's not gonna be happy when we pull up. Like, she gonna be cheesed. Like, we pull up, and we open the door, and of course it's like, it's an apartment building, so you have to like buzz something to get the office, and the office is actually like, you can see the office, so she can see who she's buzzing in, and her door was open. So we like wave at her and we're like, hey, like, we're back. And she comes up to the door, she doesn't open it, and she's like, I told you people that you cannot see a unit. Yo, first of all, you're not gonna call me you people. That's not what you're gonna do. So I'm like, can you open the door? I'm not gonna talk to you through a screen. She opens the door and I'm like, we want to see a unit. And she's like, nope, I already told you guys that you can't see anything today. And I don't remember if she threatened to call somebody else, but she basically said, I'm gonna ask you to leave. And then my cousin comes and she's like, actually, I have an appointment. And then she's like, no you don't, like, you don't have an appointment, you just came in. I told you that you had to book an appointment before and you didn't say you had an appointment. And my cousin cut her off. She's like, I'm Amanda. I just called you 15 minutes ago. You said you're completely free and there's 4 units available to show me. So, story up. That's basically what happened. And that girl's face. That girl's face dropped so fast, yo. Like, she was pissed. So she dragged herself to her office. She got her stupid little keys and she brought us to a unit. Showed us the unit, and my mom and my cousin got to see it, which was good, and they really liked the place itself, which is literally all I wanted, right? And I'm like, as I was leaving, I'm like, well, lucky for you, I'm not signing a lease today, so see you at the end, see you in August, basically. And you could tell this girl was like, yo, I hope she doesn't come back. Like, it was so bad. So anyways, after that, of course, I told my room, I told JF, I'm like, yo, like, you wouldn't even believe, bro, like, she gave us such a hard time. And we were kind of like, yo, what are we gonna do? So anyways, the time comes and we were calling the apartment like a few times out of the week, and we would just listen, because you could tell through the voice like, whether it was the one that I saw or whether it was the first one we met. So we kept calling until we heard the voice that we liked, because well, I didn't like the second voice. When we got her, we're like, hey, like, we really want to sign a lease, like, when are you gonna be there? Because we dealt with you already, and like, we would prefer to meet with you to sign our lease, whatever. And at first she's like, oh, like, you can come anytime. I'm like, no, we need to come when you're there, because that's just that. But anyway, she was cool with it, and she's like, okay, no problem. So we arranged a time that she was there. We signed the lease behind the other manager or landlord's back. So we signed it and got that done, all of our direct deposits, like everything, like we put that in. Then we booked our like elevator time, our moving date, like all that stuff. We worked around this landlord just to avoid the other one, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm black, he's brown, we're both colored, like, I don't want to deal with this. And the third person we were living with, he's black too. I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with this woman. Like, I don't want to even see her. I don't want to talk to her. I'd rather just get this done, sneakily move in, and boom, we're living. So that's really exactly what we did. We moved in right behind that girl's back, and pretty much, like, me and JF lived there for 2 years, and we literally dodged her so much. Like, we did our best to make sure that we didn't see her, we didn't interact with her, and anytime we did, you could tell, like, she did not want to see us. She didn't want to see us. She was mad. Like, she did not like us there at all. Not at all. She hated it. She found every single reason to leave notices on our apartment. Like, it was trash. But the apartment was beautiful. Like, it was great, but she was trash. And I think after we moved, she eventually got fired. I think I probably wrote an email complaining about her, but I actually don't remember for sure. But it seems like a lot of other people had issues with her, so she got fired, which was blessed, because you get your karma. I'm sorry, like, you can't treat people like that and then expect that you can still keep your job. Like, Anyways, that's really that. That was the story of like probably the most notable form of racism that I've experienced here in Canada. Canada is very much painted as this place that doesn't have racism. It's so diverse and like XYZ, and it's true, yes. Toronto is very diverse, and Toronto still has racism. So much less these outer cities that are predominantly white, they're very bluntly racist. I would say in Toronto they're covert, they're very quiet, they're very not loud when it comes to racism, but when you leave the city, like, they don't care. They really don't care. They'll be blunt, they'll be obvious. There's so many instances of racism when I went to school. But yeah, that's kind of just a story time on a little bit of awareness on the fact that racism happens everywhere, even if a place is painted as this golden place. Again, Toronto being such a diverse city, it's like, oh, how could there be racism there? They have so many cultures and so many people. And yeah, it's true. A lot of times people can't be racist in public because there's probably someone around that's gonna check you, but it happens, and it happens a lot. If there's anything I can say about this, especially if you live outside of America, don't be so close-minded. This stuff happens everywhere, and if you aren't aware, what in the hell? If you aren't aware or want to act ignorant or oblivious, you are very much a part of the problem. So do a lot of self-evaluating, do a lot of looking in the mirror, because it happens here too. But anyways, that's that on that. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.